Morning guys, and welcome to this training 20. Today's Functional Friday, so focusing on glutes today. Now when it comes to the glutes, they constantly get either ignored or not focused on nearly enough, and it leads to problems with deadlifts and squats, or we spend all day sitting on it, sitting on our bums with a sedentary lifestyle, which can't be helped with work and stuff, so they become very inactive. The muscles around them become tight as well, and generally we have inactive glutes, which can cause a whole host of problems, and getting them active and getting them working the way we want to is very difficult too. So this is going to be a very basic understanding of how to start switching on the glutes. I'm definitely going to make this two parts, so we'll go into focus on more advanced exercises to really strengthen the glutes, but today's more about activation, feeling the glutes. We're actually going to start with some stretches, because one of the main things we get is tightness in our hip flexors, which can lead to switching off our glute maximus in particular, and tight adductors, so in our groin, we're talking about, we'll switch off our glute medius muscles. So we're going to focus on opening up those two first, and those two hip flexors and adductors become tight because of sitting down a lot, whether you're driving or at a desk a lot. So we're going to start with the adductors first. So all we're going to do is put our feet together like so, lie back, and just relax into this stretch here. So we're feeling this stretch on the groin, inside here. Not doing anything else. You can push down slightly with your hands if you really want to, but just trying to let gravity pull your knees down, so totally relax. We're just trying to feel that gentle stretch, open up those adductors here, okay? So both of these, like I said, we get very tight from sitting down all day, or repetitive movements, or just holding the same position like driving. So we're looking to open up both of these. So open up the adductors first, it's a really good stretch. You can take this a bit more advanced by going straight leg, so hands down by the sides, you take it wide here. Again, try and relax your legs so they're going as far as they can, just sitting there. And over time, the muscles will relax. You can hold your hamstrings if that helps, and they should sink into more of a stretch. This is a really good stretch here for the adductors. And then you can try a hip flexor stretch for the hip flexor. I'm going to show you two ways to do this as well. So we did this one the other day. We're going to tuck up those hips, really focus on that. So watch the hips tuck up, hip flexor down here, feeling a big stretch coming up here, and then you can take an arm over and reach. So I'll show you from this angle, tuck, over and reach to feel that stretch on the hip flexor. An advanced one of this would be using a wall or a chair or sofa, bed, doesn't matter what. You're going to prop your leg up against whatever you're going to use, so that your thigh is pretty much straight down. You're going to make sure you're comfortable, then come into position here. So we're already in that position, we're making sure we're tucking those hips again. You're really going to feel that stretch on that hip flexor there. And then from there, we're going to reach over and feel that stretch even more. So I don't want to spend too much time on this. Again, these Functional Friday ones are all about education more than anything else. So starting off, if you find you're tight in either of those adductors or hip flexors, then that's a good place to start when it comes to trying to get the glutes going. We're going to bring it in some exercises now. So now we've stretched out those two main issues when it comes to tightness. We're going to look for glute activation. So I want you to bring yourselves down, lying flat, and totally relaxed. So by being in this relaxed position here, we're totally switching off the back, trying to keep the hamstrings off too, which are the main two that take over when the glutes aren't doing their job. So what we're going to do, you're going to take one hand, place it on your bum, and all you're going to do is lift that leg up very gently, and what you should feel is your glute engage as it comes up. I want your hip bone to be pushed down, not aggressively, so you're still relaxed, but just keeping the hip down, try not to lift up. And we're just lifting that leg like so,
Feeling that glute activation there. So what you can do, you can just go for like 10 reps here. And then once you've done that, you can swap onto the other side, exactly the same on the other side. Just lifting that leg very gently. We're just feeling that glute switch on. I like to use the hand on the bum because you can actually feel the muscles, the glute muscles contract. So you know you're working the right muscles, even though they're not doing much work. They're just activating, which is all we're looking for here. Take this one a bit further, so bring it back onto this side. You're going to bring the foot up. This time you're really going to focus on keeping that hip down whilst you just lift that knee. Again, I like to have the hand on the glutes, so you feel that glute contracting. As you're going for this like reverse hyper here, lifting that knee off and engaging those glutes. Like so, try and keep the back nice and relaxed. So relaxing down and just lifting that knee off. Same on the other side again, keep the hip down, back relaxed, so lifting that knee off, feeling that glute work. So really good exercise, good warm up for squats or deadlifts, trying to get your glutes active, okay?
So from there, I'm going to bring it onto the hands and knees. So we're going to do some glute kickbacks. We're going to start with a straight leg. What we want to make sure first is we're in the right position. So we're not arched like so, we're tucking those hips under, not rounded, but looking to have a nice flat back with the hips tucked and the core engaged. Nice strong core. We've worked in this position already on other videos, so we're going to assume you know what you're doing here. If not, look back. But here we go. So straight leg out, and all you're going to do is lift that leg again. If you can, quite like to have a hand on the glute. It's feeling the activation. See how straight the leg is staying and how high it's going. It's not going very high. So, because what can happen if you just really lifting, you start arching at the back does all the work. So keep your back flat, tucked up, leg straight, and just having that hand there can really help you focus on the glutes and avoid you arching the back, because you'll be able to feel it, feel yourself do it, and feel the glutes doing this. So again, both sides here, just trying this exercise, tucking the hips, try and engage that glute. Another one you can try here, we'll go into, is a bent leg kickback. So, I'm sure you've seen these ones before, but again, same position, hips tucked, core strong, back flat, lifting that leg up there, like so. Bent leg, squeezes on, feeling that glute engage. If you're struggling with the balance, obviously have both hands down, but again, having that hand there, feeling that connection and glute activation, like so, okay? So I'm not going to waste too much time doing all the reps of these, so you can do like 10 on each side of pretty much all exercises here, and find the ones you like and use them to activate your glutes. We're going for a fire hydrant next, so looking for the more glute medius activation. So I'll show you this way first. Again, get that position, core strong, hand across, and just lifting up. See how my hand's going across here? It works for two reasons, because you can feel that glute switch on the side here, but also you'll be able to feel if you're twisting too much. What we don't want to do is be lifting up and twisting our hip. Hips need to stay facing down to the floor, so you can feel if I was over lifting, and rather than using glutes, I was using my body to twist, okay? You don't want to be twisting out. Activating those glutes, so looking for here, fire hydrant like so. And you can take this one a bit further by having a straight leg out like so. So keeping those hips level, position on again, and just lifting off there. Now having the hand there is a bit more tricky, so try and focus on not lifting the hip up too high. So I'm having to use both hands to balance, and you get more engagement by being more stable. But try not to focus, try not to lose the focus of the glute by trying to get too high. All about activation. It's not about how high you can get the foot. You can really feel that in the glute. Like so, okay? So 10 on each side there will really help activate those glutes too. So from there, we're going to take it into a side lying lift. So staying with the glute medius like we just were there, you're going to bring yourself into this position here. Our body is dead straight, our feet are dead behind our knees, and all we're going to do is lift this leg up like so. Again, we're not trying to lift anything too high, we're keeping the hand on the hip. You can feel your thumb into the glute, you can really feel that glute engage just by lifting here. It's not an advanced movement, and none of these are, because if you're struggling to get glute activation by trying to overdo it, you're going to start activating the back and the hip and the hamstrings. We want to start super easy. So we're looking for like 10 reps on each side here, just lifting up like so. You can take this one to a straight leg as well, like this. I actually prefer this one in this position here. So it's pretty much exactly the same exercise. But you're down like so, you've got this knee straight down, this hand supporting, and then this leg out here. And then just lifting up there again, okay? So again, I've got my hand on the glute, I'm keeping nice controlled, but I'm really feeling that glute switch on. Like so. I'll show you on the other side for these two. So hips are up, dead straight body, lifting up here for this one. So this is up. So I forgot to say that. So you can be down here. You may feel more engagement with both hips up, but that is more advanced. And then if you want to take that a bit further, you're on the hand like so. This knee's in a bit closer, this leg's out straight, and we're lifting there, okay? So that's kind of 3 there rather than 2. But either way, we're really switching on those glutes on the side here. Now you see a lot of, I'm obviously doing this one body weight today and trying to show you how you can. Bands are great to have around your knees or ankles, super effective in terms of glute activation, but if you don't have those, then using these exercises is great. This one in particular, this wall squat here, is a really good one, especially if you've got a band. So what you do is you bring it down into this wall squat, you want to tuck the hips back flat against the wall, and then you have a band around the knees and you drive them out, okay, like so. Really effective on the glutes whilst holding this wall squat. But what we're going to do, because we don't have a band, or I'm going to assume you don't, you're going to use your hands. So bring it back down to this position here. Tuck the hips up. You're going to place both hands on the outside of the knee, push against the knees, and then you're going to push the knees out against the hands. So push, and then relax. Push out against the hands, then relax. So we're kind of trying to imitate a glute band here. So it's not as effective as a glute band possibly, but it's still working that same activation by driving out those knees, squeezing on those glutes. So a really good one if you don't have any kit, like a glute loop band, like so, okay? So really effective. Looking at keeping that wall squat, remember tucking the hips flat back against, hands either side and driving those knees out. So the second part of this glutes, which I'll do next week, will all be about like hip thrusts and stuff. So we're going to start with some glute bridges. There's going to be a ton of advanced exercises, and there's so many exercises you can do for the glutes, body weight included. The most common one I'm sure you'll know about is the glute bridge. So getting into that glute bridge first, the positioning is key. So on your heels, nice and close to your bum. We're lying back We don't want an arch back, we're tucking the hips up, and then all we're looking to do is lift the hips up. You can use your hands on the side, just lifting the hips, keeping the hips tucked. We don't want that arch, tucking the hips as we lift up, and then we're just holding there and squeezing the glutes up like so. Now glute bridge holds are really effective for the glutes. If you're not sure if they're working, just try and hold it for a while and you may just start to feel, okay, I can feel it in the glutes now. Having the feet flat on the floor is key, so make sure you've got that tripod where your foot's nice and flat, big toe, small toe and heel down. Tuck the hips, drive through the whole foot, keeping the hips tucked, big squeeze on the glutes at the top and just holding here. So like I said, if you're doing this with me, hold with me. We're not doing anything to advance in this video, it's all about activation, so you should be able to do this one. But even though this is a beginner exercise, I do this all the time, you should be doing this all the time. I can feel my glutes activating, they're engaging and they're holding me up in this position. My hamstrings aren't taking a toll, which sometimes you may feel, especially if you go too advanced, like single leg stuff. So work here, you can hold these for 10 seconds, hold them for as long as you want. You can do reps of like 10-second holds, big squeezes, like so. And then next week I'll show you some progressions to make it harder and harder as you get stronger. But here is another one that's going to focus on the glute medius as well. So we're coming back to this adductor stretch, or this butterfly stretch here. Bring those feet in, you're lying back, and you're pushing your feet together, big push on, and you're doing the exact same thing. So tuck the hips up, up they come here, and just holding there. Keep squeezing the feet together as you're lifting up and holding up those glutes. Again, you're feeling the thumbs off, the hips are tucked up, you're really squeezing those glutes, and just holding here. You may feel less on the glute max, the big glute muscle, but you should feel a bit more on the glute medius here. And then again, you can relax out of these ones, tuck up we go. You can do reps. It's starting getting that big engagement, but whatever you're trying to do, you're trying to squeeze up to that high position, big squeeze, and hold up here, okay? Like so. So that is a ton of exercises you can do for the glutes. I'm kind of flowing through them because I wanted to give you a lot that you can work with. They are all beginner exercises, so use them, give them all a go. You may like some, you may dislike others, that's fine. There's tons more out there as well, so message me if you want more. But like I said, the more advanced ones we're going to be focusing on next week. Today was all about getting the glutes active, feeling it in the glutes. Don't forget about the hip flexors and the adductors too, because if they are super tight, if you find you are super tight in those areas, then that may be the first thing you need to focus on in order to start activating your glutes, because that can really hinder the glute activation if you're super tight. So if you sit down a lot throughout the day, then that may be the case for you. Or if you really struggle with squats, if you feel like your squat depth is terrible, then that may be another issue. So really focus on stretching those, and if you need more stretches, let me know, but start with those first two I showed you today. But otherwise, there is a ton of exercises there that you can try to start getting those glutes active, maintaining that nice flat back position, engaging those glutes, and going from there, you should have a load that you can work on. And then, like I said, next week we're going to focus on the more advanced exercises. So let me know how this one goes. Otherwise, have a nice weekend. I'll be posting the new schedule on Sunday like I always do. So I'll catch you next week.